Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan, and I have another book review for you. This one's a shorter book because it's a TV book. Of course, these are novelizations of the actual TV episodes. These are not just recovered new picture designs for the cover of an old Goosebumps book from the old classic days. These are when the TV show came out of the old, well, adapting essentially the old TV, or the old 90s series of books from Goosebumps. We have the TV episodes adapted to like 60-page stories, and that's what these are. This one is a very rare one. It's one of the last Goosebumps books I ever found, probably the last of the rare Goosebumps books I ever found, according to what I remember off the top of my head. I think I even made a video when this finally came in the mail. It is Goosebumps Presents TV book number 16, Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns. I love that cover. I love the design for the Jack-O-Lanterns on the TV show. This TV show I had seen for the first time probably 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, probably closer to 7 years ago. My grandmother got me a DVD copy of it when they started re-releasing the episodes on DVDs, with like 3 episodes of DVD. And I saw it for the first time on there. It's a 20-minute long episode. I'm surprised it was never a 2-parter. It's not like it really needed to be, because there was all kinds of backstory in the storyline from the original book that really would not have been a good pacing for an episode, I think, for the TV show. So I was kind of glad they cut out some of the backstory stuff, even though I liked the original book a whole lot. I did a review for that in case you want to check that out as well. I've also reviewed, the TV episode. Of course, we're in the month of October. I thought we'd talk about some Halloween stuff. I really don't have a whole lot of Goosebumps Halloween stuff left. I think this is the last book at this current point, aside from some little things here and there, maybe, of some Goosebumps Halloween-y stuff. So I have some other stuff from R.L. Stine, some other different writers and whatnot I'll be talking about this month. I have some, like, you know, kids movies and things like Tower of Terror, the old Disney movie, that are like kind of a Goosebumpsy type of thing. So I'll probably be making some things like Goosebumps videos this month, for the month of October, leading up to Halloween, since I've covered pretty much everything Halloween Goosebumps-wise last year. Anyway, this book was good. It was a really good TV book. I've had kind of my doubts with a lot of these TV books because they haven't always been perfect compared to the episode silliness, the cheesiness, but these books, even though they're not written by R.L. Stine pretty much ever, to my knowledge. By the way, this one's written by, this one's adapted by Carol Ellis, who I think did a lot of these, if not all of these, Goosebumps Presents books. Again, 60 pages long. It's not the 120 or so page long actual novel from back in the day. It's an adaptation of the screenplay of the show. But anyway, the book is good. I like it a lot as a little TV book. A lot of these TV books have been kind of a little hit or miss. You know, there's been some good ones like Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. That was pretty good. But I haven't loved all of them. They've kind of just been whatever. You know, Not a Living Dummy 2 was okay, from what I remember off the top of my head. I really like this book. I think this is probably the best of the TV books from what I've remembered so far, or what I've read so far. I've only read maybe a few of these, not a whole lot. But I like it a lot. It's one of the good ones, like Monster Blood. I think Monster Blood was good, from what I remember. I don't know. I liked it better than the old original Monster Blood book it was based on. This book, what is it about? Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns. If you don't happen to know the story, this is not a spoiler-filled review. It's a spoiler-free review, so you'll get a little bit of help here with the plot. There's an emphasis on the fact that these kids on Halloween, basically, are all about to go trick-or-treating the day, well, it's like the October 30th, the next day is Halloween. I think they're all planning on going out, and essentially there's this rumor going around about like 4 adults went missing recently, and nobody knows what happened to them. So people are kind of weary out there. Even our main character's parents are a little worried about possibly her going out and being out by herself. Her name's Drew, by the way. So everybody's kind of paranoid about that, but everybody's kind of saying, no, it's Halloween, let's go out and do it, just like we should do this year in 2020. So people are trying to go out and trick-or-treat in the midst of all this, and apparently Drew has a friend named Walker, and 2 old friends of hers, Shane and Shayna, have come back to town. They are twins. I think they're twins. I don't remember if they're twins. They might just be brother and sister. But anyway, they're all about the same age, all these kids. Walker, Drew, Shane, and Shayna. But there's also 2 kids who are really mean to her and to all of them, pretty much kind of just bully kids. They're not brother and sister. They're just kind of apparently friends that are mean. It's a boy and a girl. And they really want to find a way to pull a prank on these 2 kids that are so mean all the time, just to get them upset, just get them a little scared or worried. And Shane and Shayna say they have a plan, but, you know, we never really know if they're too involved in what happens here. Essentially, on Halloween night, Shane and Shayna don't show up, but Drew and Walker meet up, and so do the other 2 kids that are so mean they invite to come trick-or-treating with them, even though they kind of think it's above them, or below them, to go trick-or-treating with Drew and Walker. And while they're out, these very, very tall, probably adults in costumes, pumpkin-headed things in, like, black costumes with claws, like lobster claws for hands or crab claws or whatever, show up and start telling them, hey, let's go trick-or-treating in this dark place over here in the woods that you've never seen before, even though you've lived here your whole life, that kind of thing. So they all go out to this other neighborhood, and they start getting tons of candy, like bowls of candy dropped into their bags. It starts getting too heavy, but these jack-o'-lanterns won't let them stop trick-or-treating. They tell them they're going to do it forever. So pretty much this whole story is being terrorized, or these characters being terrorized, by these pumpkin-headed monstrosities. Now, if I had seen this episode when I was a kid, which I did not, if I had, I would have been terrified of these things. I loved when I was a kid the whole idea of anything like the Sleepy Hollow story or anything, any kind of villain that might be headless or anything that has a pumpkin for a head. I was obsessed with that when I was a kid for whatever reason, just like I was with Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and all these things that I loved when I was growing up. It's one of those weird things where, as a semi-adult at the time when I saw this for the first time a few years back, I was probably about 18 or 19, somewhere in that ballpark. I love this episode. I thought it was really good. Over time, I think it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. Maybe it's age. I don't know. Maybe it's maturity. I doubt it's maturity because I'm not very mature. But if it was, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But the book is better than the episode. This book is better than the episode, I'd argue also. I like it both. I like all three of the Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns things. The original novel, this novelization, and then the episode. I think they're all very fun, very enjoyable. I think the story itself is entertaining. That's all that really matters to me when it comes to these TV books, as long as they're pretty much, in this case, it's very faithful to the actual episode itself, pretty much word for word almost. A little bit different in some aspects, but not a whole lot. If you like the TV show, if you like this episode of the TV show, this is worth collecting if you can find it. It's a little pricey if you can get your hands on it. It took me probably over a year to find a copy of this, and I had to get it off thrift books for almost a whole arm and a whole leg. It was pretty bad. Anyway, I like the book a lot. I think it's mostly well written. I think Carol Ellis did a good job about adapting this, just like she has with the other TV books I've read. The TV books have not been wonderful. I don't adore them. Like I said, they're kind of just whatever. They're more of a collector's thing. If you're a big Goosebumps collector, these are worth your time. If you're just collecting all the books, these are kind of worth your time. But otherwise, not really. This book was good compared to most of the TV books that I've read so far. I think I've only read 3, like I said, but this is good. I like it. Really a big fan of the episode. Really a big fan of the old book. This is good, and it's good to have, in my opinion. If you like Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, it's worth checking out if you happen to have it on your collection already. Surprisingly, if you do, you should go ahead and read it. I think you'll like it. Fits in really well with this month. This particular novelization has that good feeling I talked about in my Haunted Mask review, where some of the Haunted Mask books, if not all of them pretty much, do a really good job of encapsulating the feel of Halloween, the feel of that night, the breeze in the air, the little bit of cold out there, the kids excited about candy and costumes, and all these things, the decorations discovered, all these things as you walk around your neighborhood. The fears about people actually coming out and getting you on Halloween night. All those things you feared when you were a kid. It's a great thing those Haunted Mask books capture. And this book, this novelization of the episode that kind of encapsulates all that too, this novelization gets that well too. I think it's a good thing that it was able to do that. If it wasn't able to do that, I feel like I would have taken more stars off of it. I liked it a lot as a TV book. I thought it was pretty fitting for what it was. Anyway, when it comes to Goosebumps Presents number 16, TV book number 16, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, also there's 8 pages of color photos in here. Once again, like I said in previous book reviews for TV books, those pages, if you read the writing that's underneath them or pay attention to the pictures, they spoil either the ending of the book or they spoil super close things that are about to happen, like the next couple of pages over. For a 60-page book, I mean, it's just skip the pages of pictures. Unless you've already seen the episode, you already know what's going to happen, because this is pretty faithful to the very T, since it's a novelization of the episode itself. You already know, more than likely. If you do not know and you happen to be reading this, skip the pages. Any of the TV books, just skip the pages if you haven't read that episode, or if you haven't seen that episode is what I'm trying to say, because you'll be spoiled. So, glad they never did that in the old classic books at all. Would have been a bad idea. Anyway, if I had to rate this book on a 5-star basis, I would easily give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good, very enjoyable for this short little read here. Again, I think the original book is a lot better, but I enjoy the TV show episode, even though it's kind of lost its luster a little bit for me. I like this book a lot, even though I think I like it a little bit more than the actual episode it's adapting itself from. It was good. Carol Ellis did a good job. Love Goosebumps. Yeah. Happy Halloween. Be safe this month, and thank you guys for watching. God bless you. Goodbye.